I knew my wife was cheating on me. No guessing. No, maybe I'm paranoid kind of thing. I knew. Funny thing is, the second she realized I figured it out, she flipped the whole game. Not to talk. Not to cry or beg or gaslight me like some people do. No, she started planning how to kill me. And it wasn't going to be subtle. No slow poison in my protein shake. No carefully orchestrated car crash. She didn't have that kind of patience. And she knew if I divorced her for infidelity, she'd walk away with nothing. We had a prenup. Ironclad. Any proof of cheating, and she's out. No house. No support. No slice of the company. Just her designer shoes, and whatever she could shove in a carry-on. So yeah, she panicked. And she got desperate. Her name's Vanessa. 37. We'd been married 12 years. Met her in Vegas. I was already doing well, early retirement well. She was this fiery, beautiful, razor-smart cocktail of charm and ambition. Total knockout. And at first, I really thought I'd hit the jackpot. We moved to LA 6 months after the wedding. Bel Air, top of the hill. Modern glass house, infinity pool, views all the way to downtown. She loved it. Said it felt like we were above the noise. Looking back, I think she meant it literally. She always wanted to be above people. I'm 52 now. Self-made. I built a software security company from the ground up, sold it before I turned 45. Walked away with enough to never have to work again, and still kept one foot in, consulting here and there, private deals, that sort of thing. Vanessa never had to work a day in our marriage. But she liked to play the part. Creative director of some boutique nonsense brand that never quite launched anything. Mostly, she organized charity events, went to yoga in Brentwood, posted carefully posed photos on Instagram of green smoothies and beach sunsets. Nothing wrong with that, not judging, but it was surface. Always surface. So yeah, one day I started noticing little things. She'd get text messages at weird hours, smile, and then flip the phone over face down. Started spending more time at the gym. Except her hair would be done, full makeup, perfume, all to go sweat. One time I walked past the guest bathroom and heard her giggling. Not regular laughing. Flirty, whispery kind of giggle. Then silence when I got close. I didn't say anything. Not right away. Because I needed to know. Not guess. Not accuse. So I waited. And I watched. I had our house rewired. Quiet, discreet security upgrades. New cameras. Hidden mic in her car. I know it sounds crazy, but when your gut's telling you something's off, you either listen or you get blindsided. Took maybe 3 weeks. That's when I heard it. Clear as day. He's starting to act weird. You need to figure this out before the trip. I can't lose everything. You get that, right? That wasn't a woman who was scared of being caught. That was a woman planning something. We had a trip coming up. Tahoe. Just the two of us. Her idea. Private cabin, snow, reconnect. And you know what she said the day before we left? You should bring your snowboard. You haven't been in forever. Now, this might not sound like much. But here's the thing. I dislocated my shoulder 2 years ago. I told her I'd never board again. I physically can't. But suddenly she's all about me hitting the slopes again. Something didn't sit right. Not the trip. Not her sudden sweetness. Not her over-the-top affection the night before we left. So I didn't board the flight. She left without me. Said she'd go ahead, set up the place, get some time in the spa. I told her I'd come a day later. What she didn't know was that I already had someone else up there. A friend of mine, ex-cop, now private. He met her at the airport. Tracked her straight to the cabin. And guess what? She wasn't alone. Let me pause here for a second. Because the next part? It gets dark. Real dark. And it still messes with my head that I was sleeping next to this woman for over a decade. And she could smile at me, knowing full well she was planning my accident. But yeah, that's how it started. I knew she was cheating. She knew I knew. So she tried to beat me to the finish line by making sure I'd never live to say a word. I didn't tell her I wasn't coming. Not directly. I just said something vague like, I might catch a later flight if I can clear a few things. She didn't even question it. Honestly, that told me everything I needed to know. She wanted me there. She needed me there. Because whatever they were planning, it was supposed to happen up there. Away from cameras. Away from neighbors. Somewhere a little fall on the slopes wouldn't raise too many eyebrows. I stayed in LA. But like I said, I had someone up there already. Eddie. Old friend. Knew him back when he was working homicide, long before he went private. Solid guy. The kind that could blend in and make you forget he was in the room. I asked him to follow her, stay low, just watch and record. She landed at 3:10 p.m. At 4:20, She checked in at the rental cabin. Beautiful spot, glass windows, secluded deck, high-end everything. Expensive but private. Too private. At 5:05, a man showed up. Tall, gym rat build, clean fade, leather jacket that screamed midlife crisis. Eddie got a few shots of him pulling up. They hugged. Not a long time no see kind of hug. It was full body. Comfortable. Like they'd done it before. A lot. They stayed in that cabin all night. She called me once around 9 p.m., FaceTime. I didn't pick up. Then she texted, "Miss you already. I'll keep the bed warm for you." I stared at the message for a long time. The gall of it. Knowing her little side project was in the same bed while she sent that. I didn't reply. Didn't need to. She was digging her own grave with every move. Eddie stayed on them through the next day. They hit a few ski shops, a coffee place. Nothing suspicious yet, just a couple on a getaway. Then around noon, he caught them talking in the parking lot behind a snowmobile rental place. And guess what the boyfriend, let's call him Chad, because of course it's Chad, says? "So, when's he getting here? You said today, right?" She says, "Yeah." I told him I'd take him up to Echo Ridge. There's a cliff there. Ice covers the rocks. One wrong step and he's gone. That moment right there. I swear to God, I stopped breathing. She wasn't just thinking about it. She was ready. She had the whole thing mapped out like a weekend plan. Now here's where I probably sound crazy, but I didn't call the cops. Not yet. See, when you have money, and I mean real money, the kind that makes lawyers foam at the mouth, the system doesn't work the same way. You call the cops too early, and suddenly it's he said, she said, and maybe she walks away with half. Or worse, with sympathy. No, I needed proof. Something solid. Something a prosecutor could put on a screen and say, "This is attempted murder." No doubts. No deals. So I told Eddie to keep following them. I wanted audio, video, dates, times, plans. Back in LA, I played my part. Didn't confront her. Didn't block her calls. When she came back 2 days later, I met her at the airport, flowers in hand, smile on my face. You know what's sick? She kissed me, held my arm, told me she had the best time, even if she missed me terribly. I looked her right in the eye and said, "I'll make it up to you next weekend. Let's go somewhere together. Just us." She lit up. Didn't even blink. She thought I bought it. You ever have a moment where you look at someone and realize they'd be fine if you died? Like, not just fine, but better? That was the moment for me. Holding her hand in the Uber, watching her laugh about something on her phone. Knowing the person sitting next to me had hoped I'd fall off a cliff that weekend. I didn't sleep that night. I just laid there, in that huge bed, next to her, thinking, all right, let's see how far this goes. Next part, I'll walk you through how I baited them, how I made them think their plan was still working, and how I turned their little accident into a case airtight enough to make a defense attorney cry. Just say the word. After that weekend, I made one decision. I wasn't just going to expose her. I was going to let her finish the plan, all the way, while I held the leash. If I stopped her too early, she'd cry, gaslight, twist it all into some crazy husband paranoia story, and walk away with half my life. I wasn't going to let her play the victim. No, she was going to bury herself. So I called Eddie, told him we're going full in. We upgraded the surveillance. I hired a tech guy, ex-military, runs a small cybersecurity firm in Pasadena. He helped us plant better audio in her car, bugged her tablet, pulled backups from her cloud, even synced deleted messages from her secondary phone. Yeah, she had a second phone. Because of course she did. That's when we got real gold. One of the messages to Chad, her boyfriend/future co-murderer, said this. He still doesn't suspect a thing. We'll go to the lake house. There's no signal up there. If the dock gives out, they'll just call it a fall. No cameras. No one around. You get that? They had a backup plan. Tahoe was plan A, didn't happen. No problem. Lake House in Big Bear was plan B. We own that house. Bought it 6 years ago. Mostly use it for long weekends. Quiet. Off-grid. Sits right on the water. No neighbors for at least a quarter mile. It's perfect for fishing. Or, apparently, murder. So I smiled. And I told her, you know what? Let's go up to Big Bear. Just you and me. No phones. I could use a break. She beamed. I swear she beamed. Kissed me, said, this is exactly what we need. And I thought, you have no idea how right you are. We planned it for the weekend. I made it easy. Drove us up Friday afternoon. Played music. Made her laugh. Held her hand. I was the perfect loving husband. Because in her eyes, I had to be a blind fool for the plan to work. But in reality, every room in that house was wired. The dock? We rigged it with pressure sensors and audio pickups under the planks. We even put a drone on standby, camouflaged in the trees, ready to record from above. I wasn't just playing along. I was building a courtroom presentation in real time. That first night was quiet. We cooked dinner, drank a bottle of wine she poured. I didn't drink it. She tried to get close. I played along. I smiled, touched her back, kissed her forehead. She had no clue I'd already emptied the wine bottle earlier and replaced it with watered-down juice. She told me, "Let's sleep in tomorrow. No alarms." I said, "Yeah, let's just relax." She was thinking, "That's when I'll do it." I was thinking, "That's when I'll catch you doing it." At 5:30 a.m., she slipped out of bed. Didn't know I was already up. Laying there with my eyes closed, breathing slow. She went outside. 10 minutes later, guess who shows up? Chad. He parked 2 streets down. Walked up the hill in the dark. And when he stepped onto the dock, I saw it all. Drone feed. Real time. She met him there in a hoodie and slippers. You want to know the worst part? They laughed. Like this was a game. He said, "We take him down right after breakfast. Walk him out. Tell him the railing's loose. Ask him to help fix it. I'll be behind him." She nodded, then said something I'll never forget. "Once it's done, I'll drive back and call 911. Say I heard a splash. I'll be crying before I hit the line." Like she rehearsed it. I felt sick. Not angry. Not sad. Just stunned. This woman, who'd slept in my bed for over a decade, who smiled at my mother, who toasted our anniversaries. She was planning to kill me like it was an item on her to-do list. Eddie was in a van 2 blocks down. He got the audio. He got the video. We had everything. I called the police contact Eddie had lined up. Told them to stand by. And then I made myself breakfast. The morning was quiet. Too quiet, if you ask me. Vanessa came back inside like nothing happened. Hair pulled up, cozy sweater, coffee already brewing. She gave me this soft smile, the kind she used to give me back when we were still real. Back when I believed all of it. "Sleep okay?" she asked, placing a mug down in front of me. "Like a rock," I said. "This place always clears my head." She kissed the top of my head. God, the nerve. We had eggs, toast, fruit. She barely touched her plate, just kept glancing at her phone, checking the time. I knew why. Chad was out back, hiding behind the trees like a damn amateur. At one point she looked at me and said, "Babe, will you help me check something outside? The railing by the dock looks loose. I don't want anyone falling." And that's when I knew this was it. Showtime. I nodded. "Yeah, sure." After breakfast. Her eyes lit up. And I swear, if I didn't already know what she was, I'd have believed she was just being thoughtful. That's how convincing she could be. That's what made this whole thing so terrifying. But me? I was done playing dumb. "Actually," I said, standing up, "before we go, I want to show you something." She blinked. "Oh, what is it?" I walked to the TV, pulled a little USB stick out of my pocket, plugged it in. I hit play. The screen lit up. There she was standing at the dock, arms crossed. Chad pacing beside her. Their full conversation, in crisp audio, rolling out in my living room. Vanessa didn't speak, didn't move, didn't even breathe, as far as I could tell. She just stared at the screen, frozen. I didn't yell, didn't throw anything, didn't call her names. I just turned and said, "You planning to cry before or after the splash?" She still didn't answer. "I've known for weeks, Vanessa. About you. About him. About Tahoe. About this." I pointed toward the dock outside. Her lip twitched. "You're being dramatic." I laughed. Laughed. "Dramatic? You were 30 minutes from shoving me into the water and calling it a tragic accident." She finally snapped. "What was I supposed to do? You were going to leave me. You were going to take everything. And that justifies murder?" She glared at me, jaw clenched. "I built that life with you." "No," I said, walking past her toward the window. "You decorated it." "I built it." That's when Chad burst through the back door. Baseball cap pulled low, hoodie up, fake tough guy energy crackling off him. "You show her that sh*T, he snapped, eyes locked on me. I turned slowly. "You mean the video where you planned my murder?" He looked like he was trying to figure out whether to run or swing. Too late for both. Eddie walked in behind him, quiet, smooth, badge around his neck. 2 uniformed cops followed. "Hands where we can see him," one of them barked. And just like that, it was over. Vanessa didn't cry, didn't scream. She just sat down on the couch, like a switch had been flipped off inside her. Chad? He tried to fight. Didn't make it past the kitchen before they tackled him to the floor. As they cuffed them both, Vanessa looked up at me. Her face was blank. Cold. You don't even love me, she said. No, I replied. I love the version of you that never existed. They read them their rights. Took them out through the front door. The silence afterward felt heavy. Still. Like the house was breathing again after holding its breath for too long. Eddie stood beside me, arms crossed. You all right? He asked. Not yet, I said. But I will be. I wish I could tell you that was the end of it. That they hauled her off, and I never had to see her face again. That justice rolled in smooth and clean. But nah, life doesn't tie things up in bows like that. The morning after the arrest, my phone started buzzing like it had caught fire. Lawyers. Journalists. A couple of concerned friends who hadn't called me in years. Even my old college roommate, who I hadn't heard from since 2009, texted me. Dude, is that your wife on TMZ? Yep. It was already out. Wife of LA tech mogul arrested in alleged murder plot. That was the headline. Her mugshot was everywhere. Hair a mess, makeup smudged, wearing my hoodie. She looked like she hadn't slept, because she hadn't. The holding cell doesn't come with turn-down service. They charged her and Chad both with attempted murder, conspiracy, and obstruction. And let me tell you, Chad cracked faster than a gas station coffee lid. He sang. Gave them everything. Timelines, deleted messages, even showed them a photo of the doc she had circled in red marker, with the word, weak point, written next to it. That right there? Sealed the deal. But here's the thing. Vanessa? She went full psycho opera mode. Filed for a restraining order. Against me. Claimed I'd been abusive. That I'd coerced her. That I was setting her up because I didn't want her to get any money in the divorce. Her lawyer even had the gall to say I was weaponizing the justice system. I sat in court listening to this nonsense, staring at this woman I once swore vows to and thought. She really believes this might work. And here's where I thank past me for being paranoid. Because everything was backed up 6 ways from Sunday. Texts, audio, GPS logs, witnesses, bank statements. Hell, we even had screenshots of her Venmo payments to Chad for miscellaneous supplies. Guess what one of those was? Rope. My attorney, Elena, a no-BS litigator from Santa Monica who'd gutted white-collar sharks for sport. She tore them to pieces. Cross-examined Vanessa so hard, she started contradicting herself mid-sentence. Elena leaned in and said, loud enough for the whole room to hear. So just to clarify, you claim you were being abused by your husband, while at the same time plotting a romantic mountain getaway with your lover at a lake house your husband owns, paid for, and insured in his name? Vanessa blinked like someone hit her with a flashlight. Didn't even answer. The judge called for recess. Meanwhile, Chad had already taken a deal. 5 years, parole eligible in 3. Testify against Vanessa in full. She didn't even look at him when he walked into court. Just stared straight ahead like he was a stranger. Maybe he was. They always say, honor among thieves. But there's no honor among people who try to kill their way into a fortune. It dragged out over months. Motions. Hearings. Delays. I tried to keep my life normal, went back to the gym, took long drives up the coast, met with a therapist. You don't go through something like that without something breaking in you. And not just trust. You start questioning your own radar. How the hell did I not see it? But then again, maybe I did. Maybe some part of me knew all along and just didn't want to believe it. She finally took a plea. 12 years. Eligible for parole in 8. She tried to send me a letter from county before sentencing, some forgive me garbage written in cursive. I didn't open it. Burned it in the fire pit out back. Let her rot with her words. When it was all said and done, when the court banged the gavel, and Vanessa was on her way to a cement dorm with a bunk bed, I thought I'd feel something. Relief. Closure. Maybe even satisfaction. But I didn't. Not really. I just felt hollow. Like someone pressed pause on my life for a year and then forgot to hit play again. I stayed in the Bel Air house. At first, I thought about selling it. Too many memories. Too much silence. But then I thought, why should I be the one who leaves? She's the one who tried to erase me. So I kept it. Changed the furniture. Gutted the kitchen. Turned the master bedroom into a home gym. Got rid of every single thing she ever touched, even the damn espresso machine she loved so much. Petty? Maybe. Necessary? Absolutely. You'd think after a public scandal like that, people would steer clear. But no. Apparently, nothing attracts attention like almost getting murdered by your spouse. I started getting DMs. Dozens. Then hundreds. Hey, just wanted to say you're so strong. Wow. Can't believe what you went through. Coffee sometime. Bet you're looking for a real woman now, winking face. I deleted all of them. I wasn't ready. Not even close. But time does what it does. It moves. It heals in small, crooked ways. Eventually, I started seeing someone. No big story there. No fireworks. We met through a mutual friend at a charity event. Her name's Lauren. She's a nurse. Works weird hours, hates social media, and doesn't give a damn how much money I have. She's quiet, observant, keeps it real, and most important, she never makes me wonder what room she's in. That might sound small, but after Vanessa, it's huge. Therapy helped too. Took a while to admit I needed it. Hell, for a long time, I thought I was just angry. But underneath that, there was shame. Not for what happened, but for letting it happen so close. For bringing someone into my life, my world, my family, who would rather push me off a dock than walk away with grace. But here's the part one didn't expect. About 8 months after she got sentenced, I got a call. Blocked number. I let it go to voicemail. Later, I listened. It was her mother. I hadn't heard from that woman in years. But there she was, voice shaking. Paul, I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you she's not well. I know what she did, and I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just thought you should know. I didn't call back. I didn't need to. I knew what she was trying to say without saying it. Vanessa wasn't doing well. Mentally, emotionally, maybe both. And then one day, about a year later, I saw her name again. I was at the bank, setting up a new trust. The clerk pulls up my profile, glances at the screen, and says, do you want me to remove your ex-wife as backup contact? I looked at her. What? She's still listed on the account. Vanessa Avery. My blood went cold. That was on me. I hadn't even thought to scrub her off everything. That account was old, one I barely used. I fixed it on the spot. But for the rest of the day, I kept thinking, how many doors did she still have a key to? Not literal keys, but access. Loopholes. Trails I hadn't cleaned up. It hit me then, surviving her wasn't a one-time thing. It was a process. A constant one. Because even behind bars, she left fingerprints everywhere. It happened at the most random place possible, a car dealership. I was trading in one of the old SUVs, the one Vanessa used to drive. Honestly, I should have torched the thing years ago, but whatever. Paperwork, resale, tax write-offs. You know how it goes. Anyway, I'm standing by the service desk, signing some final docs, when this guy walks in. Late 40s maybe, denim jacket, shaved head, that twitchy kind of energy you clock from a mile away. He locks eyes with me, and I get that instant gut feeling. I know this guy. He walks straight up to me, no hesitation. You're Paul Avery? I nod. Yeah. Who's asking? I'm Chad's brother. Boom. There it was. I didn't say anything. Just looked at him. He shook his head, like he was holding back a punch or a scream. Maybe both. You ruined his life, he said. I blinked. I ruined his life. He's doing time. Sitting in a cell. And for what? Some dumb woman who played both of you. I laughed. Couldn't help it. He helped her plan my murder. That's not some dumb woman. That's conspiracy. He stepped closer. She manipulated him. I held my ground. He knew what he was doing. He drove to my property. Hid behind trees. He was going to kill me, man. And for what? A piece of the pie. His fists clenched. For a second, I thought he was going to swing. But he didn't. He just stared at me. He said you were arrogant. That you had everything. That you looked at people like they were trash. Now that made me pause. Because maybe I had. Not intentionally. But money changes how people see you, even if you don't change. Still didn't justify attempted murder. I said, your brother made his choice. So did I? He picked a woman who only saw him as a trigger man. I picked myself. He didn't respond. Just stood there. Then said, real low, he's not done. Not by a long shot. He walked out. Didn't look back. And me? I stood there, heart pounding, trying to pretend I wasn't shaken. Because let's be honest, threats are one thing. But when they come from family, from someone who still believes their psycho sibling was the victim, that sticks. That night, I went home and checked every lock. Reread my insurance policies. Updated the alarm code. I wasn't afraid. But I wasn't stupid either. You don't survive one-hit job just to walk into another. I told Lauren, the woman I'd been seeing, about it a few days later. She just nodded, calm as ever. Then we tightened the perimeter, she said. Easy. No drama. No fear. Just action. That's when I knew she wasn't just another chapter. She was part of the rebuild. It showed up in a manila envelope. No return address. Dropped off at my office, not the house. That was the first flag. Inside, a single handwritten letter. Folded once, clean edges. No smudges. No rips. There was a post-it on the outside. From someone who wanted to explain. He asked me to deliver it personally. I don't want to get involved, but I felt like you should have it. Tina L. Tina. Chad's cousin. I'd seen her once, at a pre-trial conference, sitting in the back row, arms crossed, jaw tight. I remember thinking she looked like the only one in his family with a working brain. I guess she drew the short straw. I held that letter in my hand for a solid 10 minutes. Didn't open it. Just stared. Part of me wanted to read it right away, get it over with. Maybe laugh at whatever pitiful half-apology he'd written. Another part of me thought, why even give him the oxygen? This guy helped plan my death. Stalked my home. Whispered murder with my wife at my lake house, and now he wanted to explain. No thanks. But still. I didn't throw it away. I put it in the top drawer of my desk, under some papers, and locked it. That was months ago. It's still there. Sometimes I think about it. Wonder what he wrote. Maybe some jailhouse epiphany. Maybe a sob story about childhood trauma and broken dreams. Maybe, worst of all, maybe he still thinks I deserved it. That's the one that gets me. Because I know guys like Chad. The world owes them everything. And when it doesn't pay up, they take it. Even if they have to drag someone else into the dirt to do it. I talked to my therapist about it. Told her I kept the letter, hadn't opened it. She didn't tell me what to do. Just asked, do you want to heal? Or do you want answers? I said, can I want both? She said, sure. But be ready, answers don't always come with peace. So I left it in the drawer. Maybe one day I'll open it. Maybe I won't. Maybe that's the real power of the choice. You know what's funny? That letter, that envelope, it reminded me that closure isn't something you find. It's something you build. Piece by piece. Boundary by boundary. Lock by lock. And sometimes, by leaving a damn letter sealed. You know what nobody tells you? It's not the moment you catch them that stays with you. It's what comes after. It's Sunday mornings. Coffee alone. Hearing a song in the grocery store that used to play in the car when everything felt fine. Except now? It makes your stomach turn. It's the silence of a house that used to feel full. Not just of people, but of trust. Of routine. Of something that felt like love, even if it wasn't. That's the part no one writes books about. After the trial, after the interviews, after the legal mess settled like dust on a bookshelf, it was just me again. Me and the question. What now? Because yeah, I was alive. I won. I got justice. But I also got to walk back into a life where every single thing had been touched by betrayal. Friends picked sides. Some quietly disappeared. A couple stuck around. Thank God. But it's weird how quickly people distance themselves when scandal walks in the room. Like it's contagious. Lauren stuck by me. Even after the dealership incident. Even after the letter. We'd sit out by the pool at night, her wrapped in a blanket, me with a glass of wine I actually poured myself this time. We wouldn't always talk. Sometimes we'd just listen. Crickets. Planes overhead. Wind in the palms. One night she said, you ever wish it happened differently? I thought for a second. Yeah, I said. But not because I want her back. I just wish I wasn't the kind of guy who has to explain why his wife tried to kill him at dinner parties. She laughed. Fair. There was a time I wanted revenge. Not just justice. Revenge. I wanted her to feel it. To rot in there. To be forgotten. But that faded. Eventually. What stayed was the lesson. The hardest one I've ever learned. Love doesn't always come with honesty. And sometimes the person sleeping next to you is planning your funeral. I started a small foundation last year. Quiet thing. Helps people get legal help in abusive or manipulative relationships. People who don't have the money for cameras, or lawyers, or friends in the system. I fund it myself. No fanfare. Just a quiet way to say, I got out. Let me help you do the same. Lauren helps. We don't call it charity. We call it survival work. And me? I'm doing all right. Better than most would expect, I guess. Still got the house. Still got the business. Still got the same dog who barked at Chad that one night like he knew something I didn't. Smart damn dog. So yeah, that's it. That's the whole story. I found out my wife was cheating. She found out I knew, and decided it'd be easier to bury me than divorce me. Literally. She pulled her boyfriend into it. Planned the whole thing like some Lifetime movie. Only problem? I don't play victim. And I don't go down easy. So I flipped it. Watched them set the trap. And I made sure they walked right into it. People ask me now, how'd you stay calm? How didn't you lose it? And the honest answer? I did. Just quietly. You want to scream. You want to smash something. You want to look them in the eye and yell, how could you do this to me? But that doesn't get you the win. That doesn't get you out. Cold heads survive. Hot ones get buried. The truth is, I wasn't some perfect husband. I worked too much. Missed dinners. Forgot birthdays once or twice. But I never cheated. Never lied. Never once raised my voice to her. I thought we were solid. Turns out, I was living with a stranger. And once you see someone for who they really are, you can't unsee it. So what did I learn? A few things. 1. Trust is earned, not owed. I don't care how long you've been together. If your gut says something's off, listen. Don't explain it away. Don't excuse it. Investigate. 2. Protect yourself. Financially. Legally. Emotionally. I'm not saying live paranoid, but don't be stupid. If you've got something to lose, make sure it's hard for someone else to steal it. 3. Don't confuse charm for character. Some of the coldest people I've ever met can smile like saints. Vanessa gets out in, 7 more years? Maybe less, with good behavior. I don't worry about it. She's not a threat anymore. She's a name in a folder. A ghost in a past I've already processed. Let her rot in peace. As for Chad, last I heard, he was trying to get early parole. Claiming mental instability. Said he was manipulated. Sure. But I bet he wasn't manipulated into sneaking onto my property in the middle of the night. That takes coordination, not confusion. And me? I've moved on. Not in some dramatic way. Not with a new mansion or a different zip code. Just slowly, quietly, with Lauren, with better boundaries, with a version of myself that's a little more guarded, a little more patient, and a lot harder to lie to. Sometimes, when I'm out on the deck, watching the city lights flicker under the night sky, I think about how close I was. How close I came to being a headline. How many people would have said tragic accident. Slipped on the ice. What a shame. But I didn't slip. I didn't fall. I saw it coming. And I walked right through it. That's it, man. That's the whole story. If you've stuck around this long, thanks for listening. Just take it from me. It's not the betrayal that kills you. It's pretending it isn't happening. Don't ignore the quiet. That's where the danger lives.